Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between mousesports' newly acquired Thorzain versus EG's LzGamer here on Tal'Darim Altar. Some people told me that it's LazyGamer, some people told me that it's LzGamer. I'm just going to say LzGamer, and yes, LzGamer giving congratulations to Thorzain for winning TSL, and this should be a very exciting matchup here. So Thorzain, a recent addition to mousesports, and because of so many scheduling conflicts, I did allow Thorzain to join mousesports, and I believe I'm not 100% sure who actually left. I know someone did, but I don't want to misannounce anything. Anyways, production tab's up for you guys. You can keep track. You can keep track of the production tab and see what's happening here. Both players pretty much opening up with the same build order, supply depot in the mineral line, as opposed to being built on the front door. And yeah, rather than trying to mute my mic and get a popping sound, you get to hear a cough where I cough a little bit further away. Anyway, supply depots are in place. Both players should be getting up a barracks in just a moment. It looks like Thorzain may get a little bit of a lead. I think he actually has about the same exact building time, as both players are now just training up and trying to continue to build their armies. You can see LzGamer did build his barracks a little bit closer to his command center, which allowed a little bit more mining time, and now an SCV scouting in the wrong direction. So it will be at least another minute and a half before that SCV finds his opponent. One thing that is important to note is that this map is rather large. And when I say rather large, it is perhaps one of the largest maps that I've seen in the current professional map pool play, and in the current ladder pool as well. As the SCVs are just wandering around and getting to their destinations, it will be a little bit of time. Both players now going into one Marine, and we'll see what happens off of this. We see that Thorzain does not have a gas yet, so he should be getting the command center up in just a moment. Meanwhile, I'm assuming a tech lab should be placed down here because there is no supply depot, meaning that it should be a Reaper expand. Oh no, a second barracks being built over here, so this may be double Reaper Rush. Double Reaper Rush or a 3 Reaper attack has become popular as of late, especially on the European realms. And the reason why it's so effective is that Reapers train up or they don't train up quickly, but they move around the map. And on a map like this where control is very important, getting 3 Reapers into your opponent's space means that you can single shot any SCV. On top of that, if you can snipe down an add-on that is being built, a tech lab or a reactor, it is very, very easy for 3 Reapers to snipe it down, as those 3 Reapers are able to do 90 damage. I believe it's 90 damage with those D8 charges rather quickly. And now you're going to see 1 Reaper, a 2nd Reaper, and then most likely a 3rd Reaper come in as well. And then we should be seeing a command center in just a moment as well. An SCV now making its way over, and now a Marine also on this side. Well, will this SCV get inside the base? That is going to be absolutely critical, trying to get that damage onto the SCV. The SCV now wandering around, down to 9 hit points, 3 hit points, and down it goes. And that is very, very important micro by LzGamer to make sure that SCV was not or did not get inside that base. And now these 3 Reapers look to perhaps deal a lot more damage. We are going to have a bunker placed down here, but the Reapers should be able to jump in along this backside, start dealing damage towards these SCVs, and then the Marines themselves will also get one shot as well by those 3 Reapers. The Marines do have a slightly longer range, but the Reapers can get a lot of damage, especially if there is no tech lab with a Marauder. And as I say this, a Marauder should be coming out in just a moment. The Marauder not getting trained though, only Marines, and that may become a problem and an issue, as 3 Reapers are on the move with 2 additional Marines as well. The Marines have to be very, very careful. 1 SCV making its way out, deactivating the Xel'Naga Watchtower, and that is a very nice move, as the Reaper is now going to come in and now shoot it down. The Marines desperately need to run back now, as the 3 Reapers have a very, very fast movement speed. Now perhaps trying to do a little bit of a push, but that Reaper out of position needs to pull back, and oh, that was a horrible loss there. Losing 1 Reaper for no real purpose other than and to just get sniped down there. There are 2 Marines in this group, but LZ should have tried to lose perhaps another Marine instead of that Reaper, and now with only 2 Reapers to his name, the damage is going to be much, much less. The Reaper is perhaps going to come around this far side here. There is another entrance into the base along this location. One of the reasons why this map is popular for Reaper rushes, as a supply depot now going to be built over here. If the Reapers are able to spot it in time, or if the Reapers are able to come up there, snipe down this SCV, and perhaps even snipe down the supply depot, that is going to be very nice, and then take down the supply depot before it gets cancelled. No, it is cancelled in time, so 100 minerals not lost there, as the Reapers try to run around the Marines just quickly coming over, and enough Marines making sure that those Reapers do not enter inside that base. 1 Marine now coming back over here, perhaps going to get some damage onto that bunker. Not much else is going to happen. That bunker does have a decent amount of armor, and now trying to perhaps pull some Marines away. The Marine now quickly jumping in, no, not jumping inside the bunker, just trying to make sure that stay by the mineral line. As these Reapers are still moving around, the Reaper's going to hop up and just simply get destroyed once again. And the Reapers, Thorzain losing that 1 early critical Reaper, and really shut down how much damage you could really do. And now LZ, LZ losing the Reaper, not Thorzain. LZ now trying to get back into this game, trying to get a stronger economy going. He is definitely behind in Harvesters, and because of that, he has a long ways to go, as he now has more than enough Marines to fend off any attacks. And it looks like this is going to be a Marine pressure, just straight up Marine pressure as soon as this reactor is done. Thorzain having a significant 300 to 500 resource lead at this point per minute. So Thorzain doesn't need to really push out at this time, but he does want to try to capitalize and continue to utilize his advantage at some point. I believe a medevac drop on this map is very, very more than likely possible, as the map is so large that you really want to try to use medevacs to make the map feel smaller, and by being able to execute very timely drops. 2 Reapers now activating each of the Zonaga watchtowers, or an SCV over here. 1 Reaper perhaps trying to poke his head up once more, as another command center being built by Thorzain. And Thorzain in a little bit of a lucky position here. He will this position will allow him to put down a command center here, and then this 3rd base is rather far from his opponent, but at the same time, I guess LzGamer also has the bonus of having this expansion, which is far further away. It just has less mineral patches, 5 compared to 8, with only 1 Vespene Geyser, and now a sensor tower has been built to make sure that no drops are possible. Meanwhile, back here, we are getting a reactor starport, and double medevacs should be coming into play. Thorzain already transitioning into siege tanks with siege tech, as a large army of Marines and 2 medevacs perhaps look to deal some damage. There are a decent number of Marines over here as well, but Thorzain will have 1-0 upgrades in just a moment, and this looks like this will be a 2-pronged drop. A drop in the main with a drop at the natural expansion, as well as LZ finding himself supply locked once more. This cannot be happening at this level of play. Being supply locked really delays how much damage you can, or how large your army is going to be. You can currently see though LZ has the larger mineral army, but that's also because he's behind on Harvesters so much. The drop now coming into play, gonna come in along that backside. There is another drop happening over here, very, very nicely timed by Thorzain. Thorzain dropping in Marines both in the main and at the natural expansion, getting some damage done, trying to take down some additional units, and now pulling away. But now the Marines going after some more of those SCVs, trying to get as much damage as possible. Another SCV going to get taken down here. The Marines now coming over in a hurry, and Thorzain is going to lose this medevac, as he knows he cannot try to fight back there. A decent group of Marines, more than a decent group of Marines, hiding out behind the brush here, making sure that another drop doesn't come into play. The drop over here has been stopped as well, but LZ most likely will lose another supply depot, and that should end up supply locking him even further. Oh, saving it at 5 hit points. So nicely done there, but Thorzain continuing the pressure, as he also establishes a command, or an orbital, a planetary fortress here at the 3 o'clock location, and even calling in mules to mine out this location as well. Siege tanks now should be sieging up, as the Marines are trying to make their way out. 1 Marine leading the way, going to be sacrificed rather quickly, and down it goes. Marines are upgraded 1-0. Armor upgrades now being researched as well. LZ also has 1-0 upgraded with Marines, and this one Marine should have perhaps used the stim pack and gotten the heck out of there, as opposed to just getting chased down by those Marines. It's always better to try to stim your Marine and in order to run around, but another drop looks like it is going to be coming in once more from Thorzain, and Thorzain looked to finish the damage that he has already dealt, perhaps doing a more crippling blow to the economy. Workers killed, 11 versus 3 at this point, as more Marines dropping and another worker down, another couple more workers getting killed in the transition process. There you go. And now 4 SCVs also getting destroyed as well. Now going after some critical supply depots, supply locking his opponent already, and now a siege tank trying to come over. Another supply depot may get taken down over here, but the Marine isn't going to be able to make it inside the medevac. No, poor Marine unable to get inside there, but the medevac will hang out and perhaps come back and deal more damage a little bit later. We do see one medevac from LZ trying to see what exactly he is up against, and that is going to be a very, very sad day, as Marines do move faster than a medevac while stimmed, and down it goes once more. Level 2 weapons upgrade in addition to level 1 vehicle upgrades currently being researched, as Thorzain trying to get a strong economic lead. You can see that this army of LZ is revealed by all the Zonaga watchtowers, and that's going to be some very bad news, as I believe Thorzain is going to do a very, very nice pincer attack here. No, the Marines are simply coming around, and the siege tanks, Marines now trying to battle it out outside of the range of the siege tanks, just sieging up just in time. Marines are trying to run away, and now making sure to not take any damage from the cover fire there. He does not know about this expansion over here, but even if he tries to engage in it, there is a planetary fortress which will shut it down, and now in come the SCVs. Medevacs now coming over as well. SCVs desperately trying to run away before the Marines unload, and now the Marines are unloading here. Siege tanks could siege up straight in combat, and that's going to be really bad there as the Marines quickly try to make their way over. One tank already down as the fight continues on both sides. The medevacs able to barely escape there, but there is a planetary fortress here, and these Marines perhaps do not want to try to fight their way through. Will be able to take down the supply depot, but that's essentially it, as the planetary fortress with its splash damage and base 3 armor with SCVs nearby should be able to easily clear up any Marine pressure coming out. So Marines from Thorzain quickly going to stim over in just a moment. There you go. In comes the Marines. Now going to perhaps shoot down some of those medevacs. Unable to do so. And now those medevacs, once again, just hiding out. There is still this one medevac over here by Thorzain. So Thorzain looking to continue that pressure once more. Perhaps clear out this expansion, as another expansion being placed down by Thorzain at what I'll call the 1 o'clock third base location, even though that is essentially his 4th base at this time. Marines, one Marine now simply just dropping off over here, gonna go ahead and snipe down this SCV, delaying this command center even further, as another medevac now dropping over here as well. So the medevac's going to go in here and clean up more of these SCVs, and nicely done, as LZ in a bit of trouble once more. LZ has really nothing that he can really do, as supply depots are getting destroyed time and time again. The medevacs arriving to the party a little bit early than those Marines, as the Marines now coming over finally. LzGamer stutter stepping those Marines forward, able to get a lot of damage onto those Marines, and now finally the rest of the party arriving nearby. But LZ going to be losing another of his supply depots. Perhaps he should have been sniping down the one that actually had the supply drop. This one supply depot does count for 16 food there, but siege tanks now sieging up, and this is exactly what Terran players love to do on this map, sieging up from the low ground to the high ground. And I believe Thorzain is going to take this game here, as LZ now down an expansion, running off of 2 bases compared to the current mining off of 3.5 at this time. Marines now trying to make their way forward. Thorzain just outside of combat range there, picking up the Marines off the medevacs, and the siege tanks should continue to move forward. But I believe the medevacs can simply just drop down Marines onto the siege tanks there to finish off that battle. Siege tanks are still back over here, continuing to look around for additional sight, as Thorzain now going into additional 3 racks and more factory play. That's going to be a lot of production buildings, 15 production buildings as the battle ensues over here. There is a lot of damage being dealt. It looks like Thorzain's going to get cleaned up as he is out of position just a little bit. Siege tanks now trying to finish this battle over here. Marines are going to get taken down. 2 siege tanks out of siege mode versus 2 siege tanks in siege mode. A Marine also joining in on the battle, but the main drop has been dropped in over here, and that's where the majority of the army went. And it looks like Thorzain will be able to shut down the production of LzGamer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1 in this series between Thorzain and LzGamer. Thorzain taking Game 1, now leading it 1-0. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay.